Ha! Using my new phone so I can keep making videos one after the other until I find no one that hits. It's like Green Acres. This kind of proves like the point. Buy quality once instead of buying cheap numerous times. I done busted my stupid cheap garden rake on the job before this last job and said, heck with it. I'm going to buy one. I'm going to spend the money to get something that I'm not going to break. I'm not saying that like stuff you buy now is indestructible, but this has a nice hefty feeling to it. What the heck is that made of? I don't know. But yeah, I think this garden rake will work out well. These get a lot of, when you're in the business of stump grinding, your garden rake is your friend. You get a lot of use out of it. Yeah. I don't want to break that one too. I need to fix my axe too. The wooden wedges keep loosening in the head, wants to pop off. I just need to suck it up and get those wedges out of there. I'm going to epoxy those suckers in there. It's a good axe. It's a solid axe, but the stupid wedges just keep sliding out. I like the metal ones that got the little, whatever you call them on it. But on the bows, I've got some bows to mail out today, and that clears my table of the pizza box. So now I can invest my time on getting into new mischief, which includes these. I've got the Sinew from Pine Holler Longbows. I wound up taking the JB bow. It had the knot there, filled it with JB Weld, and then the one on the side. And it had a little kick to the tip, so I'm adding just a little bit more. I don't want to get too outrageous. I like subtle. Subtle is good. And so I've got the other one of these clamped to the bench here. I need to be careful on this one. There is just a slight twist. I actually need to hit this one again because there's a twist in it. It can be somewhat tricky recurving stuff, that stave made. There's a definite unlevel in this tip, so I need to be super careful when I'm putting in this. If I just push down on it, it's going to go that way. So I need to make sure I get the right. That could be complex. Hopefully I'll get the recurve straight in the first go around. You can always rebend stuff. I got these, and then that little Osage bow that is extremely well mannered, that hasn't given me any fits because of variances and straightness in the staves. It's always something, but I like it that it's kind of a problem solving thing. Problem solving. I received a text last night, and I generally don't respond to texts, around 10 o'clock at night, but that's okay. Go ahead, I turn my sound off. You could text me at 4 in the morning, and it doesn't matter. It won't wake me up because my sound is off. I just won't answer them right away. Now, what I've found is if one person asks me something, there are more people that are thinking the same thing, right? So I answer it in the video. And the one question was, last night's question was, he's working on one of these. And there is a definite kind of a weird, can you see that? And I'm talking about thickness. See what's going on here? Where is the thinnest portion of the limb? It's right there. It gets thinner, then it gets thicker. And there's a question about, how do you do that? Well, it's just a consequence of, it is literally a consequence of tillering. You tiller the bow, you stand back here without tripping and dying over something. And if you see this has got a nice paddle bow bend to it, where the bend goes throughout the limbs. And when you tiller it, in this case, I'm a sander, I'm a farrier's raspist, more than I am a scraper and a draw knifer, although I use those. I use a variety of methods for removing wood, but I'm a big sander. And if carefully use your, I don't know where it is, I should lay stuff out. My tillering stick, I guess it's in the greenhouse. Carefully tiller it, you'll just automatically get that. It's a lot of wood. Look at that. That's darn near, pert near. What in tarnation? That's pert near 2.5 inches right there. That's a lot of wood to remove. How do you do it? Well, how I do it is I rely, really, because this is a board bow. See, I do various things. If I go into the woods, and I haven't done this in a while, I fully admit it, it's been a while, but I've done it a lot. I go into the woods with my hatchet, my Wonder Tool, which I misplaced. It's great. It has like a tomahawk head. I had a blacksmith make this from a roofer's hatchet. Tomahawk head on the front with this hook. It's really cool. And on the back, he took the hammer portion and made kind of a curved adze out of it, and adze for woodworking, right? And I call it a Wonder Tool because it's good for working bows. And I also have it ground so it's a broad axe. It's just flat, and it has the bevel on just one side. I'm a right-handed chopper, so it digs in. If it had a bevel like this, an even bevel, they don't dig in as much as if it's a single bevel. Anyway, I use the curved adze for working hides. I've worked a lot of cow hides before, and I couldn't even count how many deer hides I've worked. Haven't brain tanned yet. I have egg tanned, but I've usually used them for rawhide. Use that Wonder Tool, and I have no idea where it is. Made a lot of bows with it. But just saying, if I was to go out and I'm going to find a sapling, a maple sapling, right? I would use hand tools on it. The power tools would not touch that. It's kind of a philosophical thing. I'm going out, I'm not even calling it a survival bow, I'm calling it a bow. Go out there and make a sapling bow. Maybe if it's thick enough, I'll baton it. I was actually going for, and I bought this thing for throwing. That's why the wear pattern is like that. It's a wonderful throwing weapon. Baton it and use hand tools on it. My knife, scraper, whatever. But if it's a board bow, I'll use power tools. Just saying. Aside from the farrier's rasp, this is probably my #1 tool for wood removal. Look at that grit. Look at that grit. This removes wood fast. I can use this for a variety of things. I can draw lines, rough these things out, and then this will work it right to the lines. This will flatten it. This will tiller it. In the case of the paddle bow, I've gotten to where, because it's such a familiar kind of thing, I use that orbital disc sander as a mule. I wore out my Milwaukee variable speed orbital disc sander, and it didn't have much extra money, and it's like, it's just a simple unit. I'll just go out and buy a cheap Ryobi, corded. I wouldn't buy a cordless one of these things. My workshop has power. And if the apocalypse hits, I'd use my hand tools. It just is. But I would definitely suggest, if you don't have an orbital disc sander, get a good one. I mean, this lasted years, 7-8 years on that thing, so it more than paid for itself. But I miss variable speed. I like the ability, without changing sanding discs, to adjust the quickness of the wood removal. And the variable speed lets you do that. And honestly, what is it? It's a motor and some kind of device to make things wobbly. This lasted as long as my Milwaukee did. The only thing it doesn't have is the variable speed. So I was pleased at the money I spent and the work I got out of it with the Ryobi. Just saying. I am a tool snob. Every single one of my routers except one. What is that one? It's a Ryobi, which I barely use. I like that because there's a light on it. when you're doing freehand sign making or, routing whatever letters. I like the light on it, but all my routers are old Porter cables, and I like old Porter cables. I would never buy a new one because I like the switches better on the old ones. I like the toggle switches. Got a Milwaukee. Do I? No. It's a DeWalt jobber table saw, which is on its second motor because I used the heck out of that one too. I've got a DeWalt 12-inch compound miter saw. Husqvarna steel jod cutter. That's definitely an aberration. It's a great saw. I'm a tool snob, but honestly, the wife has a rechargeable Ryobi screwdriver thing, drill. Again, corded. You never need to charge these things. Kind of cheaped out on this one. This is a bigger one. This is a hammer drill. A Bauer I bought at Harbor Freight. That if I have the same size bit and I'm going through metal with this one, and I'm using the same size bit and going through metal with that DeWalt, the smaller one, this is the one that will smoke and be underpowered. So I'm talking about being a tool snob. This bigger one is not as well built as this smaller one. But I bought it a lot cheaper than a hammer drill, which I use rarely. It costs a lot less than if I bought like a DeWalt or a Milwaukee or a what's the third one? DeWalt, Milwaukee. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so old. DeWalt, Milwaukee. What's the other one? There's 3 of them. I don't know. Well, this is degraded to the point where I should say thank you for watching. I think I covered everything. Except for the last bit. This U-stave. You know what the scariest part of working with this will be? Making that first cut. Trimming it. In some ways, I just kind of like looking at this because it is a seed. It is potential. There's something powerful in potential. What could this be? When you create something from it, that's very powerful too. Just saying, just the potential, what this is going to be, is an interesting kind of thing. Analyzing it. Let's see here. I know I'm taking up your time. Just make another cup of coffee. I might need to, actually, I don't want to do it, glue a riser block to it. And if I was to do that, it would be from the same piece of wood. And I'm looking at it. How much thickness? If I trim this off 6 inches, that would be enough for a riser block to bring this down to a 64-inch bow. On one of the tips, do I have enough thickness of heartwood to glue to the heartwood? Because I don't want to have a deviation. I could get another 1/4 of an inch of heartwood out of this to glue to the heartwood and be tricky, be somewhat deceptive. But although I do appreciate a bow with laminations and different colored woods, on something like this I would want to have the same color so you didn't even know that there was a riser block glued onto it. I would tell you, I would be honest about that, but I don't want it to look like I had a different piece of wood glued to it. Yeah, I'm done. Have a good one. Thank you for watching.